what I have pulled up right now is the ancienthebrew.org resource center, which is Jeff Benner's work. The only thing that I would say about Jeff Benner is that he has more of a Hebraic roots mindset in terms of like keeping the law through Torah and whatnot. Ken and I have been down that road, and we're not suggesting for people to go down that road unless the Spirit is telling you that you need to, because it's very law-based, and for us it was good to have the comparison between Christianity and grace-based versus the Torah and law-based to see the two of them so that we can neutralize both of them. So anyway, here is his website. He's got a lot of information. He's got a tremendous amount of books. You can learn a great deal from them, but again, that's a lot of money to be spent on books to be had unless you like to have the physical resources. So I'm kind of showing you where they are right now. He has a bookstore, and you can go through his bookstore and see all the different books that he has here. But really, kind of the best way to start before you start buying a bunch of these books is right up here on the top where it says wall chart. My husband and I purchased this wall chart quite a bit, a long time ago actually. And we did this, and this is kind of where we based our flashcards off of. So you might want to take a look at that and build your flashcards off of that, because it's got some of the really good basic meanings to get flashcards started, which will then help you memorize the shapes of the letters. I recommend learning the modern Hebrew shapes and then either the Paleo or the early. Anyway, where you can make a flashcard and you can put all of them on there so that you can memorize what all the shapes are, regardless of whether they're modern or the early or the middle. It's kind of up to you, but this is definitely a tool that I would suggest, and then you have it for reference. You can put it on the table while you're studying or hang it on the wall, whatever you would choose to. This is where I pretty much lead everybody to start with. This would be Mother's Basic Teaching, as you would be learning like your ABCs when you're in grade school or into preschool. The next thing I want to show you is, and this would be a little bit more advanced, but depending on how far you want to go into studying the language, this is, I didn't pay $90 for it. I don't know what I paid for it because I've had it for quite a while, but this is Ernest Cline's book regarding the Hebrew language, and this is a reference that I use all the time. And of course I have this pulled up, and you can see it looks like I purchased it back in 2020, so I haven't had it for all that long. I guess I've had it only for 2 years, but I use it all the time. So you can go on Amazon for that. The next thing that I want to point you out to is HebrewForChristians.com. You can see right there I have the address for you. And when you come on here, right here where it says grammar, you can click onto grammar and it will show you, there's a whole bunch of things that you can go through on this. But starting out with Unit 1, the alphabet, the Hebrew consonants, this gives you an ability to go through all of them. And when you click on them, it will pull up additional information on them and how to draw them and all those kind of things. This website is a messianic website, and what I mean by that, it is very Jewish, but they have they believe that Yeshua was the Mashiach, and so it comes from a Jewish standpoint with the law, but seeing Yeshua as the Christ, the Messiah. So again, very law-based. You will see things on there that are very Christian slanted as well. I don't know where your beliefs are, or if you're in kind of the group where a lot of us have been, where we've been deconstructing some of these things through theology that was given to us that isn't quite holding up anymore as we are learning and our consciousness is increasing. But you can go through all the letters and just click on that. Again, that's under the grammar setting. And that is a really good place to start. Now, if you are wanting to do something different with Aramaic, that is a completely different ball game. My recommendation for you is to learn the shapes of the letters first, so that you can identify at least the Hebrew shapes, the Hebrew forms, because then this actually does translate over into the Aramaic. The Aramaic letter for letter, like an aleph in Aramaic is the same as the aleph in Hebrew. They have just a different way of being written. So one is masculine, which is the Hebrew, and then the Aramaic is very feminine. And you can kind of even see that through the letters. The next thing that I would say here is if you are interested in Aramaic, I'm going to show you a place that I go. It's Dukrana, and it's the Peshitta. And so when I go on here, this allows you, I'm going to increase the size here a little bit, make it a little bit easier. So this is the Peshitta tool that I use. You can choose what books that you want to look at. And the things that I do is I select this BFBS USB Peshitta text with the vowel signs, just because I'm so used to looking at the vowel signs. And then make sure that you click Hebrew. So as you're learning Hebrew, this allows you, all the words are transliterated into the Hebrew letters. I'm learning the Aramaic as I go, but again, Hebrew was the first one. And you can choose, if you want to see different translations, these are all the English ones between Ethridge, Murdoch, and Lamza, and check those. And then also I like to see what King James, good old King James has said. And then as the verses pull up, you will be able to have them. You can see that the Aramaic is above, and then below is the Hebrew. And then you can go in and to analyze. Now, I'm going to let you know that not everything that you need for the fullness of the completion of the verse is going to be here. It just isn't. There's many meanings that they leave out. They kind of slant what the meanings are. So you can get a good check of what's going on, but not the complete fullness of it. And for that, I'm going to take you into one more place. We're going to go into Janet Magira. All right. And we're going to do, let's see, it's light of the word typing, word ministry. This is her, of course that doesn't look like it's in English. Let's see. Here we go. These are her publications. So I'm going to show you exactly the ones that I use, if it'll take me there. There we go. So as far as the Peshitta goes, I use the vertical interlinear 1, 2, and 3, plus the dictionary number lexicon. So all of these work together, and I think she has, if I remember correctly, yes, she has all 3 volumes right here. Vertical interlinears 1, 2, and 3, and then you need to get the dictionary number lexicon because they are meant to be used hand in hand. And then if you want to do some word studies, where you can find out all the verses that have a certain word in it that you want to look at, this is what the word study concordance is too. So those are the 4 things that I would suggest to get through Janet for the New Testament Aramaic if you're interested in that. So these are pretty much the resources that I'm using right now that would get you into Mother's teaching. Not so much the hidden esoteric side of it, and those are other things, but this would be more than enough to get you started because, again, it's like learning a brand new language. So I hope that helps, and I hope that gets you started. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to me. All right. Shalom, shalom. Charutha, namaste.